Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first of maybe two, maybe three podcasts from NGB, running down our Game of the Year lists. I'm Ben, and I'm joined by Gary. How are we doing?
I'm good, mate. I'm sat here with a Jack Daniels. It's Christmas, so why not? Yeah, I'm all good.
Excellent stuff. And I'm also joined by Matthew. Are you all right, Matt?
I'm fine. I haven't got no Jack Daniels, but I do have Coke to go with it, so we should meet up.
Yeah, I'm currently sat here with a can of Pepsi Max because I'm also on call for my proper job. So if anything goes horrifically wrong, then I'll have to head in.
Sucks to be you.
Yeah, I've not had a drink all Christmas week. It's a nightmare.
Really?
Yeah.
You have to make room for it for New Year.
Yeah, I'm gonna, mate. I'm planning on doing. But yeah, so we're gonna talk about Game of the Year here. What we're going to do first off is go through. There's a few categories that we have alongside our main Game of the Year sort of winner, and then we'll move into the best of the rest, followed by our top 10. So first up is the category for the best old game. Now this is a game. This is a category that's really. It's really strange because it's a game where it's a category, where people can play pretty much anything, and it's a game that will have grabbed them, whether it's through extended content or whether it's through anything along those lines. But it might even just be a game that people have missed, from previous years. So what was your choice for this guy? I think you said Cuphead, didn't you?
It was Cuphead, yeah. I originally played it 2017 when it originally came out on the Xbox One. Loved it. I know we played it. I think we played it at an event somewhere. I think it's Gamescom, and it was like brutally hard. But what I love about it is hard, but it's very rewarding. And I just love that sort of 1920s, 1930s art style as well. I think it's beautiful. It's well designed. And yeah, like I say, I originally played it on the Xbox One, but then rebought it on the Nintendo Switch this year when it came out. So I suppose technically it is a new game, but technically it isn't, because depending on the way you look at it, but originally it was released 2 years ago, so I would class that as an old game. So yeah, I love Cuphead. I think it's an amazing game, and if you haven't played it, then everyone should give it a go. It is brutally hard, but like I say, very rewarding.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a game that I think we played briefly on our Game Blast stream last year, I think, and it was it's a really good game. It was last year because Lucy was with us. So yeah, it's good fun.
Yeah, it's
good fun. So other entries in this one include Gris, or however you pronounce it. Deb suggested that one.
What, the musical?
Not Greece, Gris. I think that's a game that originally came out last year, but again got re-released this year on another platform. Andy went with Yoku's Island Express.
Good
again,
shout.
Another game that is just fantastic.
Amazing, yeah.
And I think it's been in quite a few sales this year, which is why it's picking up a few of these nominations in a way.
That is a great game, though.
Yeah. Kieran went with Yoku's Island Express. Andy went with Ashen. I can't remember what he said about Ashen because his email is escaping me right now. But so Ashen there. Then we've got Breath of the Wild from Robin.
Okay.
Robin suggested Breath of the Wild because he only got a Switch this year, I think.
I agree with him on that. I agree.
I think that's fair enough. But the winner here is Destiny 2. So Destiny 2, I voted for it and Nico voted for it, unsurprisingly. But yeah, Destiny 2 has had a lot of content out this year. It's had the big massive update that they put out, which I think was called Forsaken. Should probably know this, but they had, they put a huge amount of content out this year for it, and it obviously went free to play as well. That was a big change. And when it went free to play, then it was a case of, right, well, you can have all of the year one stuff for free, or you year one stuff, and then you can make your way through to the point where you then can pick up more content. And of course, the cross progression stuff as well has been quite useful. So if you've been playing it on PS4 and you've got a PC, you can take your characters from the PS4 and play them on the PC and do all that stuff. So yeah, Destiny 2 has been a very, very interesting game this year, and I think they're pretty much I think they're going down the games as a service route the right way at this point.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Next up, we have our best free game. So this is whether it's a free game on PS Plus or whether it's one from the Epic Games Store or a free-to-play game, or games with gold. We're not including Game Pass in this because obviously Game Pass is a bit of a
still pay for it.
Yeah, I mean it's a bit of a different beast, isn't it? You pay them to actually access those games first and foremost.
Yeah.
So, couple of ones that are in here. We've got What Remains of Edith Finch.
Okay.
I believe that was Kieran's choice. We've got Detroit, which I think was Deb's choice. That was free on PS Plus at some point this year. And then we've got Tetris 99. A couple of people went for that one.
Tetris.
I know. I think that was your ultimate game of the year, wasn't it, Matthew?
Yes.
But the winner for the best free game is, of course, Apex Legends. Game
makes sense.
Yeah, I mean it's a game that it came out of absolutely nowhere. I think it was revealed and released on the same day. Obviously, there was a few rumors the day beforehand saying, "Oh, there's going to be a new game from the guys that did Titanfall." It's Titanfall 3, including me. I got very excited about that. And then they went, "No, it's a battle royale game," and everyone went, "Oh, okay."
When did Apex Legends come out? Was that like the spring?
It was February.
Yeah, I thought it was early on, but I couldn't remember
Game Blast,
exactly.
wasn't it?
Yeah, it was around the time of Game Blast, so it was. I think it was the week leading up to it.
And how is it now? Is it? Have they added a lot of stuff, or?
So they've added a second map, which I know is sort of dividing the community as only new maps can do.
Yeah.
What they've done is, I think at the moment you can only play on the new map. So they've taken Kings Canyon map out of circulation and just put the new one in so that everyone can play that for a while.
Yeah.
They've had solos mode in there for a few weeks here and there.
Okay.
So you can, hone your skills on that one. They've obviously had the steady drip feed of new characters throughout the year. They've had the battle passes. It's grown into a really good multiplayer shooter. I mean, it started off strong. You're always going to do well when you've got the guys from Respawn making it.
Yeah.
And I should mention actually, my pick for best best old game was between Destiny 2 and the other number 2 game that I find is just brilliant, which is Titanfall 2. Titanfall 2 is free. Titanfall 2 is free on PS Plus, so you should have Titanfall 2. If you haven't got Titanfall 2, what is wrong with you? Anyway, yeah. So anyway, we'll go back to the best free game, which was that was a free game as well. Actually, yes, it was best old game and best free game.
Yeah.
Okay.
So sod it. All of the people that voted for Apex, no, it's Titanfall. No, it's not.
I've changed it at the last minute. Why not?
I'm the editor. I've got privilege. So yes, Apex Legends is our best free game winner. Next up, we have our where are we? We've got the best soundtrack. So that is either just the musical aspects of it or how it sounded in the game. And there was one real front runner for this one. Robin went with Life is Strange 2 because that's got you sort of what's the word I'm looking for? It's got that sort of indie feel to it.
Yeah.
Not quite as indie as the first game. From what I've seen, I've not finished it yet, but yeah, it's got quite a lovely soundtrack to it. But we also had Death Stranding. Nico voted for that one, I believe, and I think no, sorry, you voted for that one, I think, Gary. Yeah. I mean, the Death Stranding soundtrack is brilliant, really.
Oh, it's incredible. It's got that amazing score plus like some sort of if you will, sort of more known tracks like Major Lazer, and then obviously the main theme from Churches. And I just think the way the music sort of implemented into the game is brilliantly done. The way it just sort of comes out of nowhere while you're sort of traversing, as you will. But yeah, I think the soundtrack for Death Stranding is incredible, personally.
Yeah. So it really was, I think, ultimately between Death Stranding and the winner. I think Johnny actually went for Tetris on this one because it's the Tetris theme. So he said Tetris theme. Why, do you need anything else? There we go. The Matthew version.
I'll sit here and play.
But the winner is Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil 2's soundtrack and sort of the way that it uses its sound is phenomenal at creating an atmosphere. I've only played it for a very brief amount of time because I am an absolute chicken. But yeah, from everything that I've heard and seen about it, it's impressive. Like, it's impressively like brooding and dark. I mean, did you get a chance to play it much, Gary?
I've nearly finished it.
Okay.
I actually feel a bit annoyed because I reckon I'm about an hour from the end. And then I got distracted with something else and I haven't gone back to it. But yeah, that game is incredible. And although I voted for Death Stranding as best soundtrack, I can't begrudge Resident Evil 2 because for setting that tone with sort of effects and just eerie music it's done perfectly. So yeah, I can't begrudge Resident Evil 2 that because it's very, very well done. But yeah, I need to go back to it and finish it because I'm literally about an hour away from finishing it, I think so. Cool.
Okay. So that's the best soundtrack there is Resi 2. Have you played much of Resi 2, Matt?
Not of the remaster bit, no, not at all.
Okay. It is on my list at some point to give another go, but I'm just a bit of a scaredy cat.
Yes, I think I remember part of it when you did it in the VR. Is it Resi 5?
That was Resi 7.
Was it Resi 7? Oh, I get lost now of how many they are sometimes.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Resi 7 in VR.
That's because it scared you a little bit, didn't it?
It scared the shit out of me. Anyway, yes, that's our best soundtrack. So best surprise is one that I think was near enough universal. I think, Gary, you said Resi 2.
Yeah.
Was that just because it was one of those where you think, well, it's probably going to be a bit crap, isn't it?
Yeah, because I just thought it was just going to be like a remake, like a sort of updated graphics slightly, like a lot of remakes are. Not a remake, a remaster, should I say.
Yeah.
But obviously the Resi 2 we got this year was a complete remake from the ground up. And that sort of surprised me how good it was. I just did not expect it. It just come out of nowhere, really. So that's why I put Resident Evil 2 as my best surprise, yeah.
Okay. Where are we? I think who else do we have here? Yoshi's Crafted World, I think, was Johnny's.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Johnny said here, a game that appeared painfully twee and aimed at children turned out to be another stellar platformer, as if Nintendo would offer you anything else. Which I think that's fair. I think
they do. That's what they're good at, though, isn't it? That's the thing I think with Nintendo. But Yoshi's not my cup of tea.
No, I didn't get a chance to play it, if I'm honest. But I was surprised at that one being picked for Johnny. So that's Johnny's best surprise. Where are we? To be honest, the other ones were all the same. And this is my chosen one as well. So the biggest surprise is Tetris 99. I don't really think you could have too many complaints going from, not having a Tetris Battle Royale to having a Tetris Battle Royale.
Yeah, true. See, I've not played it, but I can totally see why you guys voted for it because I know how sort of popular that is. So
it's bizarre. Like, it really is genuinely quite bizarre. You go from having nothing. It's a game I didn't know I needed.
It's a game that shouldn't work either, really, should it?
Yes,
No,
yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, it's a game that I needed, and it shouldn't necessarily work, but it just does. And I know, obviously, as you know, we said a little bit earlier, Matt, this is your favourite game of the year. So, you know,
because it's for that reason exactly. It was so it's odd. You don't expect it, and then you know you get into it. Do you know what? 2-3 hours later, you think, "Oh shit! Oh, have I been playing it for this long? Really? Oh, okay."
Yeah, so I should go to bed now. It's 2:00 in the morning.
Exactly, and that's the weirdest thing. And you can find yourself. I mean, we've been to the like Eurogame and such things, and you sit there and they're playing it on the Nintendo stand up there, and you're looking at them and you're thinking, "No, I won't do that. No, I wouldn't do that. No, you've gone that way wrong." They just criticise everybody else.
Yeah, it's just bizarre. Like the I think when you say we went to EGX and they had the tournament there, that was just brilliant. Like watching high level play of Tetris 99 is legitimately impressive. Like I've never won. I think my highest position at the minute is about 4th. But when you get to that last 10, it is so tense.
It is. I got my best is 3rd, and it's
wow.
And you just, especially when you get that far and you die, that's it. You know, I very, very nearly launch it.
Which is, of course, a dangerous thing, given that the Switch is a handheld device.
Exactly. It can actually fly quite far. So I lightly place it down. I walk off in a huff.
And punch the wall.
And then we won't talk about it anymore.
So there we go. Our best surprise is Tetris 99. So the next one is one that I genuinely thought I was going to be calling the Anthem Award. But there were actually a quite a spread. I think there was 3 nominations in this category, which is the most disappointing game category. So let me start off first of all with Johnny's pick for most disappointing, because he's the only one that went with this one, which was Harry Potter Wizards Unite.
What is that?
That was that's the Harry Potter like Pokemon Go mobile game.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I forgot all about that, to be honest.
Yeah, so, well, Johnny says here the spiritual successor to Pokemon Go turned out to be a bunch of Harry Potter IP crowbarred into the same Pokemon-shaped idea. I doubt many people played this for longer than about 10 minutes. So it's it did seem a bit awkward, that one.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a really odd proposition from the start, and I think a lot of people were quite disappointed with that. The next one was, I think, your choice, Gary, which was WWE 2K20.
Yeah, I've never played it, but because everyone else was saying what a shit show it was, that's why I voted for it, pretty much.
I mean, it's a mess, isn't it?
Yeah, like some of the stuff I've seen online, it's just like, how did that get past like quality control? It's ridiculous. See, I was going to go for NBA 2K20, not from a gameplay perspective, because it's decent, because of the whole microtransactions side of things. But then if I had WWE 2K20 and NBA 2K20 next to each other, I'd have to go with WWE because it's just an absolute disaster.
Yeah. The thing was, it's not the first time that a WWE game has had issues, is it? Because we obviously had was it 2K18 on the Switch?
Yeah.
On the Switch, that was horrendous. Like it ran
they haven't learned, have they?
No. And then obviously this year the game was let down by Ukes leaving halfway through development, so that was then left to Visual Concepts. Now the thing is, with Visual Concepts, they're responsible for the NBA games. Yeah. Which is, I think a lot of people have been expecting Visual Concepts to bring the level of polish and the level of commitment that they do to the NBA titles to the WWE games. And unfortunately, they've done the exact opposite and completely fucked it.
Yeah. Do you think it was a lack of time?
I think it probably was. I mean, my understanding of it is that that the engine that they've used, obviously they've used since, allegedly like back into the PS2 days, if not the PS1 days.
Crazy.
So it's an engine that's been developed and, stuck together with bits of string and blue tack, and then I think essentially they left and went, oh yeah, by the way, you've got to work with that old one, so fuck you.
Yeah.
So it's
I wonder what WWE think of all this, because I don't know if you've heard the news. MLB The Show is technically it's a PlayStation exclusive for
yes.
now. And then basically, by the sounds of it, MLB have come out and said, we want this game to be available to more people, so you're going to have to release it on Xbox, Switch, potentially PC. I think that's because of MLB sort of wanting more. What's the word? Wanting
like the autonomy and the control over it.
Yeah, and I wonder if, because of this whole sort of shit show with WWE 2K20, I wonder if the WWE are saying to 2K, what the fuck is going on? Because this isn't what we want our brand to be shown as. It can't do well for the brand.
Well, I think the sort of snarky answer to that is the actual WWE product has been fucking awful for a while as well.
Yeah.
So why would they give a shit about any of their sort of periphery products? And it's a bizarre situation. I think obviously the pressure of them having an annual release is obviously the thing that's
true.
But for me, I think the problem is it's deeper seated than just having a developer coming in halfway and trying to get it sorted. I think there's a lot more to it than just that. So
yeah.
But of course, the winner of the Anthem Award is Anthem.
Makes sense.
Really?
I mean, it was. I think a lot of people weren't necessarily expecting amazing things from Anthem. But what we did get, fucking hell.
That was bad.
I mean,
it was
I reviewed it. It was. I reviewed it, and I think maybe a 6 out of 10 is still a bit generous.
Yeah, talk about bare bones, right?
The thing is, you see this game coming in, and you go, right, okay, you've got a new IP from the guys that the guys that brought you Mass Effect. You're like, awesome, Mass Effect, Dragon Age, these massive story-based RPGs, and you go, that's going to be pretty cool. Oh, by the way, it's an online co-op shooter. Okay, so it's a bit like Destiny. Okay, cool, Destiny with a story. That sounds good. The first one was lacking one for a while, and wait, what? You can do the Iron Man. Okay, cool, Iron Man flying. That sounds pretty good. And oh man, it was just a fucking mess.
That was one of the best unveilings ever as well. The way that was shown off, it was like, wow, this looks amazing. And then, come out. There we go.
Yeah. I mean, the thing was, it wasn't necessarily just the fact that it was a glitchy mess, because, I mean, it was. I once spent while I was trying to review it, I spent about 45 minutes in one area of a mission. Not just one mission, about one area of a mission, fighting wave after wave of enemies. Then when I'd completed the mission, it dumped me back out to a screen where there was just wind blowing dirt around. So I think it was still stuck in that same map, and it was just blowing the dirt around for about 5 minutes. I'm sat there going, I've just spent the best part of an hour and a half trying to get through that mission, and I can't get the reward for it. Now, if I quit out of it, it won't let me get my reward for it. And at that point, I just thought, I'm not having this. No, it's crap. I mean, there were technical problems. There were issues that
people leaving, and
people from the studio leaving. And then one of the most frustrating things is that you're playing the game. The first bit is actually it comes along quite a decent clip. So you're going along. There's stuff happening there. You're like, okay, cool. Yeah, story's going along. And then it just comes to a grinding halt, and it says, right, to get through this door, you need to kill 50 enemies.
Wow.
And I'm like, what? Sorry, what? That's not a thing that you should be doing in a story-based game. And then when you do that, you open this door and you walk up to this altar. You put this thing in an altar and go, there you go. Cool. Next one.
Yeah.
And then that's it. You then go to the next one of these 4 temples, and the next temple goes, right, you now need to kill 50 enemies while flying, or something.
Wow.
It's just awful.
So it just waves of enemies, essentially.
Pretty much, yeah. At that point, it's so disappointing. But let's get okay. So next up, we have the best looking game. This was basically a no-brainer. I think there were 2 additional titles. I think Kieran, was this Kieran or was this somebody else? This might have been Kieran, this might have been Andy. Went for Luigi's Mansion, because that game does look incredible. It's beautiful, it's cartoony, it's really impressive technically, and we're sure we'll come to that in a little while. And the other choice on there was Resident Evil 2 from Johnny, who has said, gorgeous gore from the very start and aided by the pinpoint accurate damage on your enemies, which again, I think is perfectly described. Like when you hit an enemy in the shoulder, like the bullet wound stays on the shoulder and stuff like that. It's really impressive. But other than that, the runaway winner in this category was Death Stranding.
Rightly so.
Because that game is stunning.
Beautiful.
I mean,
absolutely beautiful.
The thing that impressed me the most as well is following our technical video and Digital Foundries as well. The fact that game runs well on a base PS4 is incredible.
I don't know how.
No. I mean, my initial impression was that it was running at a slightly lower resolution because I only play on a 1080p screen. So I've got a PS4 Pro running, and then I put the PS4 on after it, to do some more capture, and it looked a little tiny bit softer. Okay. But Digital Foundry said no, they both run, that it runs at a 1080p resolution. I was like, okay.
Wow.
That's fair enough. But yeah, there are a few bits here and there where where there's some like graphical effects that aren't quite there. Okay. But yeah, on the whole, it just looks stunning. And it runs really, really well. I don't know how they've got this game to look as good as they do.
I have no idea. I've been thinking about that since I've started playing that game. It's incredible looking. Because it's so vast. And I know what's the name of the engine it's using? The Horizon engine?
Decima.
Decima, that's the one. Yeah, that engine is wow.
Yeah,
if that game is perfect.
If they don't have the Decima engine as sort of almost like a mandate going forward, a bit like EA have tried to do with Frostbite and said you need to use this for everything. Yeah, I think if a lot of first party games don't use Decima next gen, I'd be very surprised because the things that it's capable of is just insane.
Beautiful, yeah.
So that is our best looking game.
Oh yeah.
And the final category is final category before we move on to our best of the rest is the most anticipated game of the year. So I believe that all of these are scheduled to come out in 2020 with the exception of one, which I think doesn't currently have a release date, but that is that of Andy's choice, which is Elden Ring.
I don't think I put mine in actually for this, but I'll tell you at the end. Sorry.
Okay. So yeah, Andy's choice was Elden Ring, which is obviously George R.R. Martin from Software collaboration. So it doesn't really surprise me with Andy being a bit of a Souls nerd.
Yeah.
And well, he is.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
And so it sounds like that's that's going to be an interesting title for sure. Whether it's going to be as big a disappointment as Game of Thrones season 8, who knows? We'll have to see. So Deb went with Animal Crossing.
Okay.
New Animal Crossing.
Really?
Yeah, next year.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, Deb just wants to get into debt with a raccoon. That's basically it.
Deb, you've got a problem.
Yeah, well, possibly so, yeah. Johnny has said that his is the Resident Evil 3 remake.
Good shout.
He said he didn't think he wanted any more Resi remakes until he played Resi 2, and now he can't get enough. So he's going to be chased down by Nemesis in his most anticipated game. But other than that, the winner, quite clearly, in my opinion, was Last of Us 2.
Yes.
There
100%.
we go. So yeah, that was yours, I'm guessing, Matt.
It was, because I must admit, the only real game I was properly excited for when PS3 was out was Last of Us. And you know what? I've been waiting so long for number 2 to come out. Is it February? Is it February?
May.
April, I believe.
Is it May?
Is it April or May? It's. I think it's.
Every time you look, it's moved. And that's the fucking problem. Is that, 'cause I'm sure it was originally supposed to be February, and it's another game.
May.
It's another
May the
game.
29th.
Is it? See, it's another game which I really don't. A lot of things I begrudge paying like 50 quid for that, because it's like you're taking the piss, really. Especially when they want you to buy things inside a game. You know, there's microtransactions, crap, and all these little extra bits. But yeah, it's a game that I will pay full price for on the day.
Yeah.
I will actually-
Yeah. I mean, it's Naughty Dog. It's The Last of Us. I think
Yeah.
anyone with any slight affinity for what they've done in the past is going to be rightfully hyped up for this one. So
Yeah.
Right. Well, I think that's probably a good spot to end the first day's discussions. So join us again tomorrow, and we'll be talking about the best of the rest and our top 10 games of 2019. See you later, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.